Obama dreams of a past that's rosy with blood. An astonishing line from Barack Obama in his first TV interview as president that suggests he knows next to nothing about American history or the Middle East. The same respect and partnership that America had with Muslim world as recently as 20 or 30 years ago, there's no reason why we can't restore that. 20 or 30 years ago, when, says Obama, America had respect and partnership with the Muslim world, the US was led by this cowboy Republican, Iraq was led by this dictator, American hostages were at least being freed by this Iranian despot after 444 days in captivity. This in part is why the US sent this special envoy to offer the Iraqi dictator US respect and limited partnership in his war with Iran. Terrorists around the world were being financed by this Libyan dictator, whose respect for the US led him to bomb even a Berlin disco popular with US soldiers, forcing the US to launch ineffectual bombing raids on Tripoli. This Palestinian terrorist leader on the right was accused of masterminding or planning attacks on American targets, including even one of Reagan's Secretary of State, with the backing of some partnerships of his own. 241 American soldiers in Lebanon were killed in this 1983 Islamic attack on their barracks. This plane was hijacked, an American passenger killed by Islamists seeking revenge for US bombardment in 1984 Beirut by the USS New Jersey. Libya showed its respect for US power by, in 1988, blowing up this Pan Am jet over Lockerbie, killing 270 people, most of them Americans. And by this time, this man was so convinced that the US was weak, was so inspired by Reagan's hasty withdrawal of his troops from Lebanon, crowing that the false courage of the US had been turned into scattered bits and pieces by the 1983 bombings of the Marines, that he had decided on a terrorist band, could now hope to defeat this great superpower, perhaps even with just one spectacular attack on its cities. That's the respect, and these are the partnerships the US had then. And that is the past of which Obama dreams, or which he never knew. Now, even John Santor of the Huffington Post is forced to admit that Barack Obama, far from offering change you can believe in, is parroting the very kind of words that the despised Bush uttered, at least on the Middle East. But in analyzing Obama's first interview, Santor bravely attempts to draw a distinction. Many of the proclamations were made in some way or another by President Bush. But what is different this time, however, is a president who is already coupling them with meaningful action. Action? What? Where? For pity's sake, the man has been in the job for just a week, and already he's being hailed as having backed his grand plans for Middle East peace with meaningful actions? With a cheer squad that desperate, this man cannot lose.